Welcome trainers, Watts here, and today we are doing another battle spot commentary. So let's just jump into this first battle. So I played this I think yesterday while I'm trying to get out of ELO hell because of all of my previous DCs, and I made myself back up to 1500 or above 1500. So man, we're really getting there. We're getting places in life. But anyway, he's going to lead off with his Celesteela and his Tapu Bulu. I'm going to lead off with the Chomp Coco. Very like pretty standard looking leads from both players here, just Tapus and strong Mons. But his Bulu is actually going to win the Electric Train because he is slower, and he's actually Grassy Seed, so he gets that boost right there. But I'm actually going to switch out my Chomp. I was thinking about switching out Coco to potentially get my terrain back up, but I actually decided to switch out Chomp because I don't really think it's going to be able to do anything here, and I don't want it to eat a Wood Hammer. So yeah, and I predict his Celesteela to protect, so I don't go for the Thunderbolt. I just protect my own Coco, and I think his Bulu is going to Wood Hammer here. Yeah, so this is going to do some decent-ish damage to Kartana with a critical hit, because Kartana is the god of this game. It takes no damage from anything, and I even get to heal back a bit. So does Bulu here, as he did recoil himself from that Wood Hammer. But this next turn, I'm like, okay, I know this Thunderbolt isn't going to KO Celesteela, so I'm actually just going to switch out so I can get that Electric Terrain back up. So I actually switch out back into Garchomp, because I expect him to switch out his Celesteela, which he does for his own Garchomp. So I actually just go for the Smart Strike on, with Kartana against Tapu Bulu. Get some good damage off on the Bulu. Does over half, so that's really good damage. That'll 2-hit KO. And he's actually going to superpower my Kartana, so I actually didn't think about the potential of Tapu Bulu holding superpower. I actually think like most I've seen do have it, but like Aaron Zhang's didn't, so I just didn't see it coming, and yeah, my Kartana goes down here, unfortunately. My Kartana did outspeed though, which is pretty interesting because I have no speed investment. So that means his is not speed invested as well, either. But now that my Kartana is gone, my Ninetales gets the free switch in, which is perfect against both of his Pokemon. Ninetales is obviously faster than Garchomp. The only threat is if this is Scarf Chomp and he has Iron Head, but I actually am running Focus Sash, so that wouldn't matter. I just free 2-hit knockout. But I expect him to switch to, you know, like avoid the 2-hit knockout that's like obviously coming. But he actually doesn't switch here, and I just pick up a free 2-hit knockout, which is really interesting. I'm not exactly sure what my opponent was thinking. He doesn't even have Focus Sash on his Chomp, but yeah, we're just gonna pick this up, and I switch in the Tapu Koko. That way, when his Celesteela comes back in, I can deal with that with Koko. So now his Celesteela is going to come back in. My Koko takes some hail damage. Doesn't really matter, and we get to see his last Pokemon, which is actually going to be the Tapu Koko of his own. So here my Ninetales isn't doing anything. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can just sub in a Royal Veil and then let it die, because it's not like Blizzard does pretty good damage to Celesteela, but it's not entirely necessary. So both our Kokos protect here, and I believe he's going to, yeah, I'm going to set up my Aurora Veil. And if he Heavy Slams in the Ninetales slot, that's fine. I have Focus Sash. I mean, I actually might have preferred it to just die here. But, yeah, he's actually just going to Heavy Slam into my Ninetales, put it down to 1 HP. And this next turn, I actually probably should have just, you know, kept in Ninetales to just get the free switch once it died. But I actually do decide to switch here into my Chomp. I think. Wait, do I? I actually completely forget. But there's going to be hail damage all across the board. Celesteela is going to recover that off with the leftovers. And Tapu Koko is a little bit... Okay, now I actually go for the protected Ninetales, which is, you know... And his Celesteela... And I actually predict his Celesteela to go for his own protect. So I'm actually going to focus down the Tapu Koko here. He goes for Discharge, not going to do much damage. Ninetales isn't going to go down because I protected. And we'll see how much damage this Discharge is doing. Not very much at all. And there's no chance of paralysis because I am electric type. So now I'm going to go for my Z move, actually, just to get as much damage as I can off into this Coco. And I believe there's actually a pretty good chance that it picks up the kill here, because that is a neutral hitting attack, which is very powerful. And the reason I actually have the Fairy type Z move is because the set I'm running on top of Coco is Taunt, Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, and if you put on the Fairy Z move, it allows you to be able to hit for a special single target fairy move. It like gives him access to a special single target fairy move. So that's actually why I run it. I think that utility of it is like really strong. So like previously you would only have the option of going for Dazzling Gleam if you wanted to do fairy damage, but that's not going to kill anything that's weak to fairy. So giving it the access to the Fairy type Z move is really nice for that single target fairy. But that Thunderbolt does massive damage to Celestial. I knew it wouldn't kill, but I did not expect it to do that much damage. And the Blizzard is just going to pick up the kill. And that's going to be a 3-0 victory, which is really cool. I actually should do a calc on how much damage Fairy type Z move does to another Tapu Koko. Because that's actually, that could be pretty crazy if it gets the one-hit KO at full HP. So I should definitely calc that. So let's just jump into our next battle. This is going to be against a Trick Room team. And first turn, things already get off to a pretty weird, pretty cool start. So if you see here, I lead with my Garchomp and my Golisopod. If you look at Golisopod, that thing is massive. That thing is so huge. Look at how threatening my field looks right now with this Garchomp and Golisopod. They are not messing around right here. But this Porygon2 actually has Trace, and Trace is the emergency exit. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get that thing to half HP and make it switch out so it can't Trick Room me. So I switch in the Tapu Koko to be able to start targeting down that Dewpider, as my my Golisopod wasn't doing anything. But here I actually run the Groundium Z on my Garchomp for the same reason I run Fairyum Z on my Tapu Koko, to be able to get single target ground stab, whereas previously your only option would be Earthquake. But Tectonic Rage being able to be a very strong single target ground move, and I know for a fact this is doing over half to this Porygon2. So get this thing off of my field. Emergency exit activates. You're out of there, Porygon2. You're not doing anything for this turn. So we'll have to see. It brings in the Marowak. We'll see what the Dewpider is actually going for. It's actually going for a Z move of its own. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be massive damage. If this goes into a Coco slot, I'm dead. If this goes into Garchomp, I'm probably living. But if I am, very low HP. So we'll see what he actually targets down here. And he actually goes into the Garchomp, so I'm like, okay, please live. I'm pretty sure I can live this with just a little bit of HP. And I actually just go down, so that is a one-hit knockout. Dewpider is really strong. Wait, I think it's not Dewpider. That's the evolution of Dewpider. That's a Araquanid. What am I talking about? Wait, is that even the evolution of Dewpider? No, it's fucking not. I'm retarded. Sorry, guys. Araquanid actually picks up the one-hit KO with that water bubble. Insane ability. And he actually goes for the Wide Guard here. I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to protect from, but actually just protect my Tapu Koko, as he does go for the Shadow Bone into my Tapu Koko. And then I pick up almost the knockout with Liquidation. Marowak goes down to a little sliver. And I'm actually just going to... He traces Electric Surge. Doesn't do anything. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to Dazzling Gleam here. Or no, I actually Aqua Jet. Try to pick up that KO onto the Marowak, because I want to Thunderbolt this Araquanid slot. And that actually picks up the one-hit KO, so that's really good. That was a crit. I'm not exactly sure if that matters. I haven't done this calc before, but like Electric Terrain, modest, max investment might just pick up that KO anyway. So he actually has Drampa, which is pretty good for me, as I have Dazzling Gleam as I go for right here. Which is definitely not going to pick up the kill on Porygon2, and does over half the Drampa, so that's really good. And I'm just going to Liquidation the Porygon2, as it was going for the Trick Room, because otherwise it would have outsped my Golisopod, because this Golisopod is negative nature. lowest investment possible. But yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate that I didn't have the Fairy Z move, as I already used the Ground Z move, because I could have just one-hit KO'd the Drampa really easily. But yeah, he's actually going to pick up the kill with the Thunderbolt onto my Golisopod, which doesn't matter, I don't really need it anymore, as he doesn't have Trick Room, and I can just go for a Dazzling Gleam here and pick up a double knockout. So I bring in Kartana, just for that, you know, that added pressure of being like, yo, I've got Kartana, no, there's nothing you can do. Like, even if this Dazzling Gleam wasn't here, even if this Coco was out, even if this Dazzling Gleam was doing 1 damage to each of your Pokemon, I've got Kartana. And this is a statement right there. That's the point of bringing in Kartana. My boy Kartana. Anyway, I pick up the double knockout, obviously, with Dazzling Gleam, and that's going to be GG. So, that was a really interesting game, just because, like, the fact of how I could just, like, forcibly deny him Trick Room because of that Trace Emergency Exit is pretty hilarious, as I didn't plan that whatsoever, but that was pretty great. And, I mean, in the future, if I see a Porygon2, I'm definitely going to consider that, because if you correctly predict which side the Porygon2 is on, then you can give it Emergency Exit if it has Trace, and that's really interesting. So, yeah, I mean, Trace might not be better in this format than Download, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, in that particular battle, it definitely was worse. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe to see future uploads similar to this, and make sure to subscribe. Thanks, guys, for watching. Peace.